Hi everyone, Martin here from martinsmayhem.co.uk, and I think this is going to be the first video of 2024. And yeah, so I'm trying to be organised, and I've created Sean's Valentine's Day card ahead of time, but I really wanted to kind of do a video for it because it's not that difficult, but it's got a couple of techniques. So like using the wax melt, and just some stacking. So it's really simple, but I wanted to jump on and show you anyway. So let's just get started because I'm talking too much. As always, I kind of had this idea on using the Ampersand die, which is from Lora Bailora, and I think it's something Ampersand. There's a name there. Can't pronounce it, something Ampersand, and you get the 3 dies, and I'm using the biggest one of the 3, which is this one, but equally this one would have worked really well as well. Well, they all would, it's just size wise this fills the space a little bit better. So yeah, as always, I started off sketching out my card in my Sketch Mayhem, and literally that is all I did. So a little circle for kind of the wax seal, and then I knew I wanted 2 lots of sentiments to go something and something. And now me and Sean, this might sound totally cringe, I always say always and forever, he always says forever and always, so that's why I wanted to do this. I didn't have the stamps for it, so I did use my Dymo machine just to imprint them. So let's get started. I have put my trimmer away, which is annoying. So I have got some white cardstock. I mean, this is with basic white Bic, and I've decided to keep all of mine in these sleeves, which are really useful. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do it before this video or after this video, but I want to do some kind of like a craft room tour because people want one. Don't know why, my craft room isn't that great, but it's doing one big one is quite scary, so I want to kind of break it down into bite size, but I need to know a name. I need to think of a catchy name. So yeah, if you have any ideas on like a smaller name, please let me know. I'm just going to grab that piece of scrap, and this is why I love these leaves, just because I can just slip that back in there. So I know that's a card base. This isn't a card base, so I'm going to cut this down to the size I need. So I always do a matte layer, as you guys know, unless you're new here, then you won't know, which is a centimetre smaller, and that just allows me to kind of do all my work on a separate piece, so then I don't have to, I mean, it's smaller, so I can throw this away if I mess up, and I haven't wasted as much card. So yeah, here we go. There's that. I'm going to put that completely out the way on the floor, and I'm just going to reinforce that fold with a bone folder. Wonderful, because there's nothing worse than a gapy card. So this is our base. We're going to do some stamping and die cutting. Now the florals, well, the foliage I should say, it's not florals, it's no flowers, is from the Splendid 4 stamp set from Stampin Up. I know I'm no longer a demonstrator, however, well, I am still technically a demonstrator, but I'm not promoting the fact I am. Still have their stuff, so I'm going to use it, and I've only kept the stuff I really like. Everything else that I've either used sufficiently or I'm not going to go back to is listed on my website for sale, so please make sure you check that out. I'll link it below. So I'm just going to use this stamp, so grabbing some white scrap, I'm gonna bring in my image, and I'm just gonna do StazOn. I don't know if I did StazOn, but StazOn's on my desk, so I'm just gonna use it rather than fetching around for anything else. Now StazOn's good because it's a dark ink, which is quite nice. I'm actually going to tilt it like that. Then you're going to want two. I did consider doing more in the background, but instead I just added a little bit of blue shade in. Pop that in there. Like so. I'll clean that later off. So there's that. Now there is this kind of leaf, kind of watermark impression, which I'm going to stamp in soft sea foam. But it doesn't line up perfectly. And I think it's what Stampin' Up called distinctive. So it's supposed to look like photorealism. But what I like to do is just spritz it. So I've got my little spritzer now. I'm going to move it off to one side, give it a spritz, and then stamp it down. And I'm roughly going to line it up, but again, it's not going to be perfect because it doesn't line up perfectly. But it's just going to add a little bit of something, like a lot of it's going to be die cutted out. Like if you wanted to colour it, then by all means, I think watercolour would work better for this card. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think it looks better not being perfect. And then there's that. I'm just gonna make sure I am so all in shot, that's fine. I just had visions that I'm crafting over here. All my camera's over here and so I'm gonna bring in my custom emboss machine. I'm gonna lay this down. Now there is a coordinating die, which is probably why I went with this one. I was being lazy. And I'm gonna line it up like so. And then run that through. No, it's not lined up properly. It's on the top and not the bottom. You've got a little hole at the bottom. You can see the little tail poking through. Now, I don't know if this stamp set is still current or it's gone. I don't remember. I'm going to be completely honest. I feel like it has gone. Because I was devastated that it went, but I kept it because I hadn't sorted through anything, and I'm so glad because I absolutely love this card, and I think it's ideal for a man. Like it's, I mean, if I received it, I would like it, but that's me. And obviously Sean, who I'm in a relationship. So without saying it's very gay, it's, yeah, you get me. I think you could easily do this for a heterosexual man, but I don't think sexuality counts for anything. I've gone off a tangent. But hey, you know. Stop talking, Martin. So yeah, I think this would work well for a man's card, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, the ampersands, I've already cut out twice in scrap white cardstock because we're going to do some stacking. But I have got some silver foil cardstock and that ampersands die. And I'm just going to run that through. And then that's our die cutting done. I'm just going to run that through twice. Throw the bit straight into the bin. He says that's gone on the floor. And there we go. So that's our die cutting done. I'm going to put that there. Ooh. So again, I'm just going to put that away, trying to be good. So that's stored away there. So we have these elements that we need. We have these. We might as well stick these together now. While I can. I'm just going to get some liquid glue for time. On this one, I did use adhesive sheets, but I didn't here. I think it's because the silver I already had it on. So just gonna add a little bit to there. Now I always pinch it, so like I find a point where my finger and thumb fit together. I just give it a little pinch, and that just helps me align it together. And then again. Oh. Running low on liquid adhesive in there. So then I'm just going to pop on my silver layer. Now this example actually has like 5 layers, but I'm just going to do 3. And the only reason why it had 5 is because I lifted up the sentiment, and it kind of pulled, and then I pulled some apart and it didn't really pull apart. So I just kind of one underneath. So there is that element. So we have that and that. I'm going to do the wax melt. Now, I'm a little bit nervous about doing this because it's so new to me. I have a very dusty silicone mat. And I have a heat tool. I should really plug this in, and I don't have the adapter. Oh, hold on. So this is from Lora Bailora as well. I say as well. So it goes with the dies basically. Well, it doesn't go with the dies, but you get the gist. So I'm just going to switch that on and let that heat up. I might have to come back to that though, before we do it, just so it does kind of heat up a little bit. But in the meantime, we'll work on the background. So I have a blending brush and some scrap paper. Just need to ink blend from. So it's got some blue still on it. I'm gonna grab some Pool Party, and now I literally want this to be the faintest touch ever. So I'm gonna dab it off initially and then go in. But I think I need to re-ink my Pool Party. So literally, I think that's all I want. I mean, it could. That's it. I don't want to go over the top. It's only something subtle to sit in the background. Now, these wax, I don't know the colour. Hold on, I can get the colour of it. It says. So the wax sticks are, is that the colour? Oh, this is rose gold. So, I mean, I would say it's pink, not rose gold. But hey, it's rose gold apparently. And they do this little heart stamp, which I didn't buy the stick for, but it's fine, you can use it without the stick. The only issue I have with this is the fact that it's getting enough out and then sticking it in, but hey. I was gonna say we could build that up while that still heats up. Yeah, let's start building it up. So these elements are going to go onto some mini dimensionals. So I've got some here, or any kind of foam adhesive of your choice. I just have lots of these, so I'm going to use them. But what I do need help with is finding a new adhesive to put my matte layers onto my cards. So I've been using Arteza foam tape, but they discontinued it years ago, which is so frustrating. So I'm just going to peel those backs off. Now I'm going to be good and put them straight into the bin, because I've spent ages cleaning and tidying this room. I'm just going to pop it down. I'm not pressing it down because I want to be able to move it around once I have things in place. Maybe there, down a little bit there, and then that's going to be in the middle, like so. Maybe this way a little bit. Okay. So yeah, well, that's fine. I'm happy with that placement, so I'm just going to press them down. And now what I can do, if I move that out of the way, is I can do my ink splatter. So I'm grabbing my Winsor Newton ink, and this is just a black Indian ink. Now, don't shake it too hard, but it does need a little shake. And this is the stuff I use for my white ink splatter. I'm literally just going to move everything out of the way, because last time I did this, I messed up my top. And I've got my favourite hoodie on, so I don't want to ruin it. And I'm just going to ink up and give it a little splatter. Right, so haven't got any on me, yay. So just going to pop that in there. Now I always keep that one. Oh, this smells now, so I think this is good to go. So while this dries, which is probably already dry, we'll do our wax seal. So I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to give it a little squeeze. There we go. And then just pop that in, like so. I'm going to switch this off. And then just let that cool down. And then I should... So for some reason, mine wasn't coming out all the way. Or maybe I wasn't letting it, I should say. This is probably me, not the tool. So... Still a bit wet. Now, I'd say I put too much wax down, but I did struggle a little bit. As I said, this is new to me. I love the look of wax seals, but it scares the jeebus out of me. I'm just going to move that behind me. And once this is done, remember, it still feels quite hot. But you've got the little heart impression, and because we did it on our silicone mat, just going to peel right off. Wonderful. Move that out of the way. So we have that. That wasn't as painful as I thought, but I have done too much wax. But you learn these things as you go along. This is new to me and I'm learning. So that's going to go into there. Bring this back. We're going to bring in our Ampersands. So I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals again. I didn't on the other card because I had more layers, but I'm not so blessed this time. I'm gonna pop that down there and just look where it's hitting it. So it's hitting it here. It'll hit it here. Is it in the middle? That's more in the middle. I'm just going to leave it like that, I think, with them two. If I need to add more, I can mess around once it's in place. So, pop that down. Try to make sure it's straight. I mean, if you were concerned, you can just double up some of these. Oh, it says, getting on fingers and thumbs and popping it underneath here. I mean, I'd rather do that so that it's more secure and it's going to last. There we go. So now that's in place. We've got our wax seal that's going to sit here. Now, I just stuck it down on this example with some liquid glue, and I'm probably just going to do that again. But I did buy some some stickers, but because I'm having it hang over, I didn't necessarily want it to be there. But what I might do as well is I might just pop, I don't know if this is going to stick, but we'll try it. A double dimensional again, just behind. In fact, let's just lift that up, stick that on there, like so. That's not sticking. But we'll see. Pop that on there, like so. Just gonna run my finger over that, just to tidy it up. I mean, it's worked on this one. Okay, we'll leave it and we'll come back to it. So, next we've got our sentiment. So I just use my dino, as I said. Now, I've already got black in there. I used to use this for my host codes on my thank you cards. So, why not use it for my card making? Always. This is when I have to spell it right. No pressure. And then at the end, I like to just do a space before I do the cut. And then you can cut these down afterwards. And at the start as well, I like to do a space. And then forever. Ever. I did do an S, didn't I? Always and forever. Space and then cut. Wonderful. So I am going to stick these onto, you see, this bit of scrap of white. Let's stick it onto that. I don't need this anymore. This can go. Who says got nowhere for it? So let's stick these onto. Now I'm sticking it onto cardstock so that it's less bendy, but you can see that it's still quite bendy. But I'm just going to line it up like so. It doesn't have to be on there perfectly because, as I said, we're going to cut it down and cut around it. But it's just going to add a little more strength to it. And then scissors. Now the question is, would you be keeping these bits or would you be binning them? Because I have, when I sorted out my cardstock literally the other night, I found the smallest bit of scrap, and I mean it was like this, that I decided to keep for some stupid unknown reason. Like, I'm never going to use that. So cut that down. I'm just using the edge of the sticker as a guide, but I'm just going to cut this down slightly smaller there and there. So there's our always, and I mean it's still got a bend to it, so don't get me wrong, but it's just not as bendy. Always and forever. And that. So it's really cute. Like, at the end of the day, why do we make cards if we can't personalise them, right? And by doing this, I can add that personal touch. Like, I'm very much not sure I'm going to find the sentiment that says, and forever and always. I mean, I've just stuck them to the side. And now I'm going to overlap this slightly. I'm going to pop that down. So hopefully that's going to help hold that seal in place just while it dries. Now, once that glue is set, I am going to go back in with just an eraser and just I'll just tidy that up a little bit. There's a little bit of glue there. Like so. So then we have always and forever. I mean, I've spaced them out a little bit more, but oh well. Then we've got a bow. So where is it? In one of the kits that Stampin' Up did at some point somewhere, there was this kind of black and white twine, and I thought it just added a little something extra, but honestly I don't think it needs it. No, I'm not going to add it. I'm not keen, and in fact I might just rip it off this card now. I think it's much better without. I'm sure you agree. I'll keep it, I'll mess around, you'll find out in my final photo. But I need, so this is the phone tape that I was on about that I use and that I need a replacement for, because you can see how little I have left. Well, I say that, I have this and a whole new one, but I want to be prepared. I mean, I just don't know which one to use, but I like the fact that I get fuller coverage. I've got no curvy corners from it. It's a bit long. I'm just going to put that in the middle as it's a bit long. Put that there. Just don't do this one as long, Martin. And where's our card base gone? Bring that back. Now the sunlight's almost here, which is annoying because it means I'm running out of time to take photos. But I can do it. 1, 2. These have not gone straight in the bin. 3. And then might as well take this one off. 4. Well, that's 5 actually. Just line that up. Like so. And there you have. Oh, let's actually just slide that under there, like so. Today's card. So I know I waffled a little bit, but hey, what is this if not an opportunity to waffle? So I hope you enjoyed today's card. It's something different. Well, I say it's different. I don't see how it's different. It's just something fun. I'm going to link to a couple of things in the description. So if you were interested in any of these items, go check them out. And yeah, I'll see you around. Bye.